We have some bright minds coming over. The first one being Dr. S.D. Sudarsan, Executive Director, CDAC, to discuss a very engaging topic, establishment of national cybersecurity skills and cyber readiness as an organization and country. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman carries decades of experience, and today he's going to share all of it. And please make sure you give it an ear and do not miss out on the session. There you go. Sudarshan sir, before you take over the stage, I need to ask you one question. Very, very lame or maybe a cliched question, but why is cybersecurity so important to you? We would like to know it from you, because I'm sure with such experience and rich background, you have your own thoughts. Can we please turn on the mics? Mics, please. Yes.
Yeah, namaste and good afternoon. So the question is very relevant. Today, India is a digital power. We are looking at a digital economy that requires something called a digital trust. And trust is something that has to be earned through two things. One is what we do and what we seem to be doing. Both are important. So that comes with safety, security, privacy, which is essentially the gamut of cybersecurity we are talking about. And if we don't have it, the digital will fizzle out. So as simple as that. So this is what I feel. Probably a quick answer to start.
That was an amazing answer.
Okay.
That was a very thoughtful answer. Thank you so much, Dr. Sudarshan. Please.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, first of all, I was supposed to do the heavy lifting post-lunch. And thanks to Ishan for doing it. And I thank everyone for running the show a little late, so I could come when the energy levels are high. Thank you, everyone. And the other one, today the season is IPL. And this season something new was introduced. And it was called Impact Sub. So post the toss, post lunch, thanks to Navadithan sir. So he said, that rule can be applicable to you as well. So we decided to change the topic to Gen AI and cyber security. So bear with me. You are free to ask questions on the skill and the task force that we can always answer. It is available. So good evening again to all of you. And in a sense, the sum and substance of the talk was made by the previous panel. Somehow Vikram seems to be able to deal with Betal very nicely. He summarized that Gen AI issues need to be handled by Gen AI, as simple as that. So that is what is partly real, and we are going to follow. Yeah. So we have taken the topic of Gen AI, spoken a lot of times, very interesting to all of us. And we all talk about AI, some kind of intelligence. And if you think it is a current trend, somewhere, we have missed out the early days. Many times it is important to read the books or the dictionaries. If you look at intelligence as a word, anything that requires application of mind to do some calculations, some estimates, and things like that. So the day we invented Charles Babbage's that analytical engine, way back in 1640, AI was born. At least that is the recorded history in the current scientific domain. So it is not something new as far as AI is concerned, artificial intelligence. Then over a period, if you really look at it, we have reached a point where sometime around 1997, many of you here are maybe those days, playing with the machines, early days. The first time IBM's Deep Blue beat the champion of that time, Garry Kasparov. So that is when we can say we have reached a kind of a milestone. The way we talk about industrial revolution, AI reached a stage in 97. Once that was done, several iterations went through, and the first virtual assistant started appearing in 2010. It was almost 12 years of R&D in the back end. That is when we saw a new change. And if you go further, we took almost another 10 years before the actual, the chat GPTs and the Gen AI become ground real as we see today. So it has been a long journey as far as AI itself is concerned. But why it is being discussed today, not as much before? That is the point to look at. So this one simple slide, given the time limitation, I think I'll go a little fast, skip some of the slides. So in a sense, we'll look at the left side. The statistical machine learning models, this mean, median, interpolation, extrapolation, we had a professor talking about OR kind of techniques. They all are kind of intelligence, but they became neural networks, evolved into deep learning. Till that point, they all belong to one category, kind of discriminative technique. What it means, you give something, I'm able to identify or tell what it is. But when Gen AI came, it was not classification or clustering, it started generating on its own. So if you say a dog, it will generate a dog by itself. Something creative, which was not part of the input. This was not part of the analytics. It is something beyond. The moment creativity comes, then the question is there some real intelligence that has come into the system? Because it is able to generate, not just to analyze. That is the question that is being answered as we speak. And if you look at the current slide, the inputs have not changed. Machine is taking the same text, image, signal, and so on. But the outputs are of different nature. If you look at it, some of them are colored in green, some are light. Wherever there is a green thing, there is something that has to take decision on its own. Generation is involved. And even without Gen AI, some of the things were happening, like instruction following, some rule-based, Siri and all. They did something. But they all needed something beyond. So they are all belonging to the Gen AI category. And these are things to just keep in mind. And if you really look at how does it evolve as an end user, I think it goes from various simple things like advisory role, assistive chatbots and all, we are very much aware. And then we are talking about AR, VR and things like that. But what we are today looking at and hearing is something that is autonomous. I think all the CXOs here and our friends will agree, when we say something autonomous, it is not automated, it is something way beyond. Something that is autonomous has a capability to recover from failure on its own and restart the journey. Whereas automotive things, anything automated, when it fails, somebody has to go and fix. So that change, ability to recognize a failure, kind of self-healing, some kind of self-resilience, the building of self-resilience is what is going to make things that autonomous. We are today looking at digitally autonomous things, digital twins and all we are looking at. But the full maturity will come when we get something that is physically autonomous or physical twin, so to say. Maybe, that is when God has been recreated by us. That is the ultimate as we stand today. But it looks like the digital autonomy will happen. Physical, at least point, it looks still very far off. So that gives things. Now there are many examples that are available today, starting from, the trucks that are going long haul without drivers. And if you look at this guy, if you don't read the text, somebody can go to a police station, give a complaint. X is missing. Now you don't even know that it was a AI generated image. So this is a new kind of normal that law enforcement agencies, enterprises, the fake identity, digital fakes, they are all going to come. And when I can create this, I can also create a DNA sequence for it. It's all adding a digital data. We already heard about, what we feed, the reference data, poisoning, and so on. So it is possible in Gen AI to create this kind of identities, which is something we need to worry about as we go forward. And they can actually help us with generating the next sequence in this. And instead of identifying eyes, it is adding beautiful eyes to the thing. That is where it is getting closer to humans. That is where Gen AI is able to get the sentiments right. And how does it hit us? So this counter is showing 20 seconds, but probably I will take 2 minutes. And being a researcher, we are always used to time overrun. Sorry about it, sir. 2 minutes I will take. So where do you focus in this team? If you look at it, that question that was asked in the beginning, we have to make a combination of 3 elements. One is the security. And if you look at security, we have actually solutions, the CIA triad, pain triad, and it is universal. If you say firewall, the world understands. You can sell the firewall to anybody, anywhere in the world. It is universal. But the moment you say privacy, it is not universal. It is, first of all, personally identifiable information, but it is defined by the law of the land. So suddenly the solutions are much more diverse, that are constrained by geopolitical, geospatial kind of requirements. Which means your solution and offering space, business markets gets more diversified. We need more unique solutions, adaptable solutions that are connected to privacy, to the law of the land, both internal use and export and external use, and also interoperability. So this is a new business opportunities. We are always talking about security, but we all now can see that it is privacy that is going to give more specialized business opportunities. And along with that comes the next part is trust. Why trust is very important? This is not even defined by law. Nobody can say. It is very subjective, very intriguing. You have seen so many movies. If you tell to the heroine, your father is the villain, does it happen? It does not. It takes 3 hours of the movie in the climax to know that fellow is actually a villain. Because that is what trust is all about. Trust is about my perception of the other entity, not the reality. And when we talk of digital economy, digital world, it is the trust that is what is taking us. So the lookalikes, the words, soothing words, without going into below the skin deep, we don't see the reality. So the trust, this is where the new solutions need to come that will use AI to identify the subjective elements, subjective elements, as we say in Hindi, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani. That has to happen to ensure that the digital trust is appropriate and it is placed on the right entities, both in digital and physical domains. I think this is where the future business for all of us are going to be. Why this is important? You have to plan your workforce to develop solutions of this nature. And this is not in any syllabus today. We don't teach them. So this is for the future. And at least in India, this is how DPD Act defines the PII. And there are few more things when we talk about privacy. Trust I will not touch anymore. There is something related to personal. It's like my own data. Nobody has a right to question, and I want to keep it private. And there are things that are intimate. It is not personal, but it is between a closed set of entities. Data cannot leak outside that closed group. That is some kind of intimacy related privacy. And there is something called anonymity. I want to go, in spite of, for example, if you look at Pawan Dugal, he would rather go to a place where he is not identified so that he can go have a cup of chai on the road as he likes. Or without getting mobbed by paparazzis, somebody can go and have a chat on the beach. So that is all anonymity. We need anonymity when we want, so that we can live our personal life, not the role and the role model that we play in the society. And then that place, I want to be seen as a human, not as someone with an identity attached. That is the kind of solutions today we do not have. Then there are some places we want reserve. Please don't disturb me, let me think it over. Don't trouble me. So wherever I am, I want some privacy, being not to be disturbed for whatever reason. Those are the things we look at it. And as I said, trust is subjective, but that is where fake news get easily done because it looks trustworthy by look and feel and things like that. And a survey quickly showed that, autonomous vehicle, 40 percent are ready to trust, whereas when it comes to medical, as of today, some only 7% are ready to trust. Even though the processing is by the same data, real, and everything based on a model, mathematically they all carry the same value. But the perception by humans, they trust for one reason, they don't trust for another reason. That is how it goes on. And if you look at how AIs are under threat, there is a huge thing starting from, freedom recon to impact. There is a lot of things that are happening, but in the interest of time, I leave it. And just a quick concluding remark, whatever we do in life, does our solution decrease the pain of somebody? Does it increase the pleasure of somebody? Without being personalized, the solution should be to the point, not to the person. We don't want to attack any individual and be non-judgmental. So long as we adhere to these philosophies, any solution on trust, privacy, and cyber security, with or without JNA, is going to take us forward, take the humanity forward. And with that, I thank Navanidan and Saivesh for letting us the time and giving us the space to be here. Thank you so much, all of you. Wonderful audience. Thank you.
May I please request Mr. Navneetan to please come over and honor the gentleman. Sir, it was such a delight to hear from you. Lovely to understand such unusual terms in such a layman's language. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Sudarsan ji. Thank you so much. Mamaji, just maybe the one information. She is part of CDAC and is doing a lot of initiatives specifically on the cyber security and then other quantum computing. And personally, he is getting to the layer, there's a tier 3 city, tier 2 cities, how we can make more powerful people, right? That's why we can give a great applause. And he was in the bigger MNC, and he resigned and then joined as a government, this organization to make a great contributions. And it's a very impressed personality, not only for me, it's many other leaders. It's really great to have you, Sudarsan ji, and we would love to honor.
Many, many congratulations, sir. We're very, very happy to have you here. It's been a delight. And for him, we always say one thing. His reputation precedes his name.